我们反对的是共产党，他给世界带来了恐惧。这个带来的恐惧的原因，就是因为我们懦弱、自私。他们70年来欺骗了全世界，威胁了中国人，才让中国共产党有今天在全世界的风头。大家想一想，我郭文贵如果去了其他国家，我的结局是什么？不是把我锯掉了，是直接把我放到机器里变成火腿肠了，波式火腿肠。而且在座的很多华人朋友，你们根本没有机会站在这个舞台上，因为共产党70年来都是成功的。
Smoking cigarettes fade, the silence after screams pain. Terry Baker Street, the circus once right. Suit your armor inscribed, with the Irish shone bright that night. The carriage did arrive, as for who and why. Evil done in Victoria Street, painted red on and one eye. The handgun, the curtains untied, the unaccounted box of treasures are counterfeit, marching outside. It's Scotland Yard, they be working all night long. Nobody's left to go on the go for doubles back, smiling with his fun.
They sounded like a symphony. This place and girl, let me play out your ending. The wrong life will always fade away tonight, or to this taken from our side.
他的恐吓，他的蓝金黄，他的威胁，让我们失去了尊严，失去了安全，失去了发声的自由和权利。我们感恩美国，我们感恩西方的媒体朋友们，与我们一起寻求真相，寻求正义。
How can the truth get exposed to places where no one goes? The simple smell of a rose, the secrets start to unfold. Every person wears a mask of fashion, reason and lie. Every action has a reason, that reason desire. Oh Father, Father, Papa, oh Father, Father, Papa. In this life, how can we live without never sinning just once? We can forgive and forget, but we can live and let rest that cannot take the pieces that are coming to you and set light up. I hear a step close behind me, familiar smell, a flashing light. The door opens, we're turning around, the pages blind, left and written, crimson to the touch. No, someone had me roll, no, this much felt too much as though I know it's the end. You never think of the reason I fought to defend the only justice and you now lives on silently. Words written to be seen.
These wicked things, they sound like a slang. One turning around, the pages blind, left and written, crimson to the touch. No, someone had me roll, this much. Life will always fade away tonight, or to this taken from our side.
共产党对西方的威胁，绝对不是我在这里能形容的。接下来用我们的行动来证明给所有的全人民看，共产党是世界上最大的毒瘤。共产党一天待在中国，它都是人类最大的威胁。郭文贵总是有一句话，我们老叫身先羊骨先搭线，我要用事实行动证明给你们。
Hi, this is Lila from Hijack. Counter at the start of our show today. At the first slide, at first glance, section 1266 sounds like ordinary, right? I joined the project with Taiwan to deploy unmanned systems and counter-unmanned systems. Many people read this and think, oh, this is just another routine US-Taiwan military cooperation or arms deal. Nothing special, nothing strategic. But that view completely misses the point. To understand why this section is so important, we must first understand what unmanned and counter-unmanned really mean, and how they relate to traditional manned warfare. Unmanned systems are not just drones flying in the sky. They include unmanned aerial vehicles, unmanned underwater systems, autonomous platforms and the core in enabling technologies behind them, such as uh, sensing, guidance, communications, and coordinated control. These technologies are now the backbones of the modern warfare. Whoever controls armed systems controls the surveillance, precision strikes, logistics, and battlefield awareness. And whoever controls counter-unmanned systems controls defense against swarms, sabotage, and asymmetric attacks. This is not the future, this is the present. Now, here's where the deeper meaning appears. The Chinese Communist Party has spent decades building like BGY plan, money influence, and cohesion, penetrating governments, corporations, research institutions, and even military supply chains around the world. Is that in that environment, unmanned systems are not just weapons, they're also targets of infiltration, manipulation, and control. Without real intelligence from whistleblowers, from mouths, without knowing who is compromised, who is infiltrated, and where the hidden risks are, these advanced systems become empty shells, beautiful on paper, useless or even dangerous in reality. Miles, leading the whistleblower movement, the new federal state of China, play a core role not through weapons but through exposing intelligence networks and hidden structure. We saw intelligent exposure by Miles. The United States will never fully wake up to the nature of the CCP's unrestricted warfare. So when we look again at section 1266, those few lines are not small at all. They represent a comprehensive confrontation between transparency and infiltration, between open systems and covert control, between democratic alliances and authoritarian expansion. And beyond military technology, here's an even big question underneath after the Chinese Communist Party, who represents the Chinese people. Will the world continue to treat the CCP as China itself, or will it recognize a future China that is no longer built on repression, deception, and fear? For many, this is why Section 266 matters. It is not just about drones or defense systems, it's about who defines security, who controls truth, and who will be recognized in a post-CCP world. What looks like a technological paragraph is actually part of a much larger struggle, one that connects technology, intelligence, alliances, and the future identity of China itself. And that is why it matters. Today, we are going to focus mainly on the CCP traction, guidance technology, drones, and high altitude balloons based on disclosure and allegations made by Mouse. And what looks like on the surface like simple drums or weather balloons is actually part of a much deeper system, one that combines guidance technology, data collection, communications relay, and psychological warfare. The key point is that these platforms are not isolated tools, they are connected to broader intelligence and control networks designed to operate below the threshold of traditional warfare. In multiple testimonies, Miles has repeatedly warned the US authorities about the Chinese Communist Party's most dangerous capability is its ability to remotely manipulate and control modern systems that rely on computers and chips, including aircrafts, cars, yachts, commercial ships, and even smart home devices. His core message has been consistent. The CCP should never be underestimated, and that and any assumption that it lacks such capabilities would be a grave mistake. When discussing incidents in Taiwan, Miles has argued that traditional explanations such as shoulder-launched missiles or small-arm fire do not adequately explain certain aircraft losses. Instead, that the digital interference and guidance manipulation possible through compromised mobile or onboard systems could be used to force aircraft to crash at a chosen time and place. And this kind of traction or control technology represents a new form of warfare that bypasses conventional defense. Miles has also cited his own personal experience as example that he has an incident in 2018 involving a highly advanced vessel in Manhattan late May, where the ship lost control and began circling uncontrollably despite his cutting-edge design and award-winning technology. The event was so alarming that the ship's captain and management team later resigned, and U.S. law enforcement and intelligence personnel were reportedly shocked by what they witnessed. Regarding Taiwan's CCP infiltration runs far deeper than publicly acknowledged, including within military and intelligence circles. It targets assassinations or sabotage could be carried out with extreme ease due to internal compromise. As early as 2017, Miles has warned about long-standing influence operations involving Taiwanese military figures, intelligence relations, and cohesive networks dating back decades. The significance of incidents involving US-made military equipment in Taiwan is not merely the loss of life, but the exposure of core technological vulnerabilities. Taiwan represents one of the several channels through which the CCP has sought access to advanced Western military technology, alongside other regions such as Pakistan, Israel, and parts of the Middle East. Mets often reference a long-standing CCP strategy attributed a senior PLA leadership acquiring foreign technology not through a single breakthrough, but through broad, scattered acquisition across alliance partners and peripheral systems and shotgun approach. The objective was to penetrate every possible domain and extract value wherever possible. Miles has explained why organizations such like our Rule of Law Foundation and the Rule of Law Society focus heavily on preventing technology theft and influence operations. Attacks against these groups stem from CCP's awareness, such efforts poses a serious threat to its long-term strategy. His central warning remains unchanged. Modern warfare is no longer limited to visible weapons, and the most dangerous battlefield may be the systems people believe are safety and their control. We'll see from the video.
I can tell you all one more time. The Chinese Communist Party absolutely possesses this capability. The remote control technology. Its long-range, remote control technique is very mature. I've personally witnessed it before I dare say this. When Lady May, my yacht, went out of control on the Hudson River, this was the first thing coming to my mind. I removed my phone from the main boat to the small boat. The main boat can be controlled. I brought my phone back to the main boat. It went out of control again. The main boat was in control again when I put the phone away. I tried it back and forth several times. Finally, we determined that there was something wrong with my phone. When the FBI later investigated this incident on the boat, they were completely dumbfounded. It was the first time through this case they realized that the CCP absolutely possessed this technology. When I met with the CIA, they were also surprised by what happened to my yacht, and they said that they were certain that the CCP has possessed this mature technology now. In my numerous testimonial hearings, I warned all relevant departments. The CCP can control all of America's modern technology. Any device with computers and chips, including airplanes, cars, yachts, small and larger boats, and smart home devices. So, fellow fighters, when dealing with this evil enemy, the CCP, we must only look at them with high regard and never underestimate them. Regarding the crash of Taiwan's Black Hawk helicopter, claims about shoulder-fired weapons, missiles, or any other means of someone shooting from inside the craft are all impossible, I think. There's only one possibility: tampering with a mobile phone. That's very easy. With remote control technology, they can bring the helicopter down and do whatever they want. Basically, they can kill you wherever they want. It's absolutely possible. I, with my whole family, personally experienced the Lady May incident in Manhattan. Go back and watch the live stream again. The captain has been fired, and the entire team has been fired. In his words, this was the most terrifying moment of his life. The world's most advanced ship, a vessel considered the ancestor of military technology by humankind, a ship that won numerous science and design awards in 4 years, was starting to spin out of control on the Hudson River. How terrifying is that? Think about it. In the end, even the ship's crew and management company were too scared to continue. Strictly speaking, we didn't fire them. They resigned. The FBI was dumbfounded, and the CIA was even more dumbfounded. In Taiwan, I tell you, the PLA's infiltration goes far beyond this. Basically, in Taiwan, the military can kill whoever they want, as easily as killing someone in China's Xinjiang political prison. This general, who got killed, wasn't just any general. He had a deep understanding of the world's most advanced aircraft, aviation, military, and intelligence technologies. The vast majority of Taiwan's military personnel have also been bought and incorporated by the CCP's armed forces. When I started the whistleblower movement in 2017, I told you that the Beijing Military Region, the 7th Bureau, and the 7th Office of the Military Commission and the Liaison Office of the General Political Department had several people buy a villa in Fuchin Garden in the 1990s. Next door to the villa was an actor from a sketch play, and we also liked the person very much. The owner of the building next door was a director, but he later sold it. The few houses in the middle are dedicated to receiving Taiwanese military generals. I can tell you that almost every Taiwanese military general has been there. They set up honey traps using celebrities from Taiwan and mainland for mainland and Taiwanese generals. At that time, the Taiwanese military was completely compromised. The Black Hawk's crash has attracted the attention of the U.S. not only because of the number of people killed, but also exposing the core technology owned by the CCP. The CCP's hand has already reached Taiwan, and to all the American weapons and technology purchased by Taiwan is a huge threat. I have told certain departments in the United States that the channel for the CCP's People's Liberation Army to obtain the U.S.'s core military technologies are via Taiwan, Pakistan, Israel, and a country in the Middle East. The CCP made a plan many years ago to target not only the U.S. but also the U.S.'s allies. This is what the late Commander Zhang Wanyan said. He said, growing business with intelligence, and growing intelligence with business. He also said, we must use a shotgun approach when dealing with the acquisition of intelligence and technology from the U.S. It's just like hunting birds. I cannot get them by shooting one by one. I'll use the shotgun to shoot at them randomly. The more I shoot, the better my chances are of getting them. Why? He knew very well that the CCP can steal your technologies in various fields, including via Taiwan Alliance. Therefore, what the Rule of Law Foundation and Rule of Law Society are promoting in the U.S. now is how to prevent the CCP from stealing American technologies. This is the first time I have said this, and the CCP knew it already. The CCP has been aggressively attacking Rule of Law Foundation recently because it knows that the bill promoted by Rule of Law Foundation is fatal to them. Therefore, there are many secrets that cannot be told. I will gradually reveal to you.
Okay, let's be clear about what it really means. It is about mobility, missiles that can move, on trucks, on roads, on railways. Missiles that are not fixed in silos but carried hidden, relocated, and launched anywhere. But what they call an integrated transport, aeration, and launch system. This capability did not appear out of nowhere. A large part of it came from stealing and copying foreign military vehicles technology, especially from the United States. Heavy, heavy-duty trucks, high-mobility platforms, large loaded chassis. This became the foundation for CCB's missile carrier vehicles, including those used for the Dongfeng missile series. At that time, people inside the system openly talked about, of course, in the CCP system talk about this. They asked whether it was possible to buy or obtain U.S. military vehicles, including HMMWs, from war zones like Afghanistan or Iran. These discussions happened on the ground among people who knew exactly what they were doing. Once those vehicles were left behind, they were quickly taken, and not just taken, they were sent back for full reverse disassembly. And in Beijing, there are dedicated facilities for this purpose, underground laboratories where foreign military vehicles are taken apart piece by piece, engines, drivetrains, and suspension systems, mobility components. Everything is analyzed, copied, and rebuilt. This is how CCP China achieved success in large missile carrier trucks. This is why they say the truck worked, the mobility worked. In their minds, this meant they had gained an advantage over the United States, not because of innovation, but because they could now move missiles freely and unpredictably. In less than 20 years, the CCP made rapid progress not only in missile mobility but also in missile positioning and precision strike capabilities. This is the real change. Mobile launch platforms combined with improved guidance mean they can strike targets with much greater accuracy than before. They openly describe this as one of their major military breakthroughs. Precision missile strikes, not just hitting a city, but hitting a specific location. When you combine accuracy with sheer volume, the strike becomes obvious. If one missile doesn't hit exactly, they launch 10 more. This development is the result of decades of economic growth combined with systematic technology theft and reverse engineering. That is where their strength comes from. But we need to understand who these missiles are really aimed at. They are not primarily designed to strike the American mainland. Their main targets are Japan, Taiwan, U.S. military bases in Asia, Okinawa, bases in Korea, and forward deployed forces. These are nearby, concentrated, and within range. Their strategy is simple: strike the doorsteps, attack regional bases, target aircraft carriers. In Japan and Korea, the number of personal aircraft is limited. That makes these forces vulnerable to mass missile attacks launched from mobile platforms. Can this defeat the United States as a country? No, it can't collapse America. They can cause pain, disruption, and casualties. And that is the point. The CCP is willing to accept enormous losses, doesn't fear death in the same way. That difference in mentality is fundamental. Today's CCP China uses short-range, medium-range, and long-range missiles, including nuclear-capable systems, anti-ship missiles, and submarine-launched platforms. Over time, even submarine-based missiles launches have become more mature. All of this traces back to one core foundation: mobile missile capabilities, what they misleadingly call traction technology. In reality, This system built on mobility, concealment, mass deployment, and co-paid technology. That is the real story behind their missile forces. So the CCP drones are products of successful military-civil fusion, and the developing unmanned systems aggressively steals drones loyal women and even drones mothers ships designed for swarm operations. Once these are used in real combat, the battlefield will look like hell. And don't underestimate this because previously some of the drones purchased by Taiwan were actually CCP-made drones routed back through Australia before being sold. That is not a small issue from the U.S. military's perspective. What they fear and care about the most is not just Chinese-made or CCP-made weapons. What they worry about is how many people inside Taiwan will betray them when it really matters. The U.S. military is not omnipotent. But don't get this wrong, but the U.S. military is absolutely not all-powerful. Sometimes it has big weapons, but not small weapons. Sometimes it has big intelligence systems, but not small group-level intelligence. This is exactly why soft power and internal unity are so important. This is why background strength matters. NFC matters. When we talk about war, you must understand clearly. The US military alone is one thing. The US-Japan military alliance is another thing. The US-Japan-Australia alignment is yet another thing. And one after that, do we talk about the Taiwanese military? Don't bring Europe into this. Don't talk about the Five Eyes or five country alliances. That kind of talk is for outsiders. The real question is simple. Can the US fight on its own? How many battles can it fight? What kind of battles is it willing to fight? And then comes Japan. Will Japan fight or not? Then Australia. Will Australia follow or not? And then comes the Taiwanese military. How long can the Taiwanese military hold? If war breaks out and Taiwanese military can hold for more than 3 hours, that is already a win. As long as the Taiwanese military dares to fight back, dare to respond, dare to act, as long as it follows the targeting maps we give them and launches precisely where to shoot, then it wins. It's that simple. The CCP understands this very well. That's why they care so much about public opinion and people's hearts. They do not want the people's will to be aligned with the United States. This is why counter-drones defense capability is urgently needed. Drone swarms are not just weapons, they are tools to overwhelm defenses, morals, and command systems. If drone swarms dominate the battlefields, the consequences will be severe. That's why building anti-storm capability is not optional, it is urgent.
We previously revealed that the drones Taiwan purchased were Chinese drones transferred from Australia. Don't underestimate this. The U.S. military is very wary of and concerned about how many people within Taiwan might be traitors. The U.S. military is not omnipotent. Don't get wrong. The U.S. military is absolutely not omnipotent. Sometimes you might feel that the U.S. has big weapons but lacks small weapons. It has big intelligence, but not necessarily small intelligence. So, brothers and sisters, this underscores the significance of the new federal state of China. The scene behind is huge. Everyone must know that the U.S.-Japan military alliance and the U.S.-Japan-Australia military alliance are entirely different things. Don't include Europe yet. These days, everyone talks about the Five Nations or the Five Eyes. Stop talking about that. That's just for laymen. How many battles can the U.S. military fight on its own? How long can it fight? What kind of battles can it fight? And will Japan follow the lead to form the US and Japan alliance, then the US, Japan, and Australia alliance, and the last one, the Taiwanese military? How long can the Taiwanese military alone hold out? Today, I can tell you that if war breaks out, and if the Taiwanese military can hold out for more than 3 hours, they will win. As long as the Taiwanese military dares to retaliate, as long as they dare to launch missiles precisely according to the map we gave them, they will win. It's that
And the most dangerous thing for Taiwan is not anything else. It is the traders who sell out Taiwan. We will talk about this today in our think about it carefully. And this joins Taiwan. Excuse me. The joins Taiwan but actually came from mainland China. How dangerous is that? Then ask yourself another question. Who in Taiwan today dare to stand up and speak out? The media, this media, or that media, and not one dares to speak for Taiwan. It's better right now, but why? Because of this group of traders who sell out Taiwan. That is what is truly terrifying. Hong Kong was the same. The real danger is the traders who sell out Hong Kong. The community party fuels you, protects your money, supports you. These shameless groups do dirty work for the CCP, and in return, they guarantee your benefits while you harm 99% of people, like Hong Kong. The United States is the same. The most dangerous thing is the traders who sell out America. You don't need to look anywhere else. Just look at what Miles has gone through in recent years. Judicial unrestricted warfare, media unrestricted warfare. When you see that, you understand everything. Next, we will talk about the balloons, Japan, Taiwan, and the nuclear threat, because this is all connected. What Mel said before has already been proven. Is there anyone else in the world who dare to speak this way, this early, this directly? Now here's even bigger information. What Mel said, balloon could form clusters and swarms floating over Japan, and they will be aimed at Japanese military facilities. The first balloon shot down by the United States was not the first balloon discovered, and it's not be the last one, right? Japan is still immersed in the belief that America have told them the truth, the full truth. They have not. The balloons targeting Japan are not the same as the balloons used as elsewhere in the world. For the first time globally, rubber balloons filled with mixed hydrogen helium gas are being deployed. And the first stop is between Taiwan and Japan. The second stop is Taiwan. The third stop is Japan. The real capabilities of these balloons have not yet been revealed. Right now, they are conducting photo reconnaissance. Next, they will drop objects, release payloads, and become offensive. This will not begin in the United States. It will begin in Taiwan and Japan. And all nightmares start the same way. The first to suffer losses will be Taiwan. The second will be Japan. Just wait and see. Japan will enter a period of massive panic and in Taiwan Strait War. The country that suffers the first and the greatest damage is not Taiwan, it is Japan. The country that ultimately suffers the greatest overall damage is China's own people, Chinese people, paying with both money and lives. Economically, once Japan enters the war, it will face devastating destruction, including nuclear strikes. There may be hesitation when it comes to Taiwan. There will be no hesitation at all when it comes to Japan. Nuclear weapons will be launched north, south, center immediately. Taiwan, Japan, and China have no strategic dips, no distance for rebound or maneuvers. This is why the situation is so dangerous, and this is why the truth matters now before it is too late.
I was the first person to talk about Russia having spy balloons. When did I tell you this? At that time, no one in the world knew about it. Then, I said that balloons would come to Ukraine. They went to Ukraine and Kiev, right? Today, I will reveal something even bigger. If you can understand the two pieces of information today, you will definitely shock the Japanese by telling them. One is that the Iranian president's visit to China is to deal with the death of Khamenei for the theocratic exchange deal in Iran and to make detailed arrangements for major events during Xi Jinping's visit to Iran. Iran will then launch a full-scale attack on all targets, destinations, and properties throughout Israel and outside of Israel, including using Xi's balance. Second, as I said for the first time, soon balloons will be floating in groups over Japan. And this will pose a huge threat to all Japanese military facilities. Third, the first balloon shot down by the United States is not the first one and will not be the last one. Moreover, Japan still believes Americans' narrative, thinking that Americans have told them the truth. Americans didn't tell them the truth, and we shall wait and see. The spy balloons flying over Japan are actually different from the balloons used around the world. This is the first time in the world to try a mixture of helium, hydrogen, and carbon gases. The test places for these rubber balloons with mixed gas can load the largest number of weapons. The first place was between Taiwan and Japan. The second place was Taiwan, and the third place was Japan. You will find out what the capabilities of these balloons are in the future. I haven't told you yet. In addition to spying and taking photos and videos, they will also throw things down, like attacking weapons. This won't happen in the United States first, but will happen in Japan and Taiwan. In all these nightmares, Taiwan will be the first to suffer losses, and Japan will be the second. Japan will enter a moment of great panic. In the case of war across the Taiwan Strait, the biggest victim is not Taiwan but Japan. Of course, the people who are hurt the most are Chinese people who contribute their money and lives. The economy will suffer the greatest loss. Once Japan entered the war, it would definitely suffer a nuclear-like attack, a devastating blow. Moreover, the CCP may still hesitate for a second about attacking Taiwan. They won't hesitate for a split second against Japan. They will launch nuclear weapons from North and South China and allow no room to refute. There is no space between Taiwan, Japan, and China to rebound. Let me tell you that the Japanese government is the ultimate bastard. It never tells the truth to its people. The Japanese government hopes that Japan's elderly people will die sooner. After the elders all die, all their money will be turned into state inheritance taxes. This is what the Japanese government really cares about. One of my fellow fighters said, "Miles, didn't you say that you had the ability to destroy Chinese military bases in 5 minutes?" Yes, but that depends on who makes the first move. You have to stay alive to have 3 or 5 minutes. When you are dead, well, you have 3 or 5 minutes to fight back. The first group in the world to sell out its own country and its own people, Taiwan's traitors, is the Kuomintang. Do you think the CCP can still sell its drones to Taiwan at this time? Do you see that Taiwan's artillery tank went to Shanghai for repairs, and most of the connecting parts for the helium spy balloons are made by Taiwan's factories and chips for the balloons were made by TSMC? The second group is American traitors, and the third one is Japanese traitors.
And Miles was the first person in the world who got this completely right in the balloon issue. And they came to in clusters, one group after another. And they are already appearing over Taiwan. And there will be the many over Japan. And they will go to Europe as well. This is a new kind of airspace domain, a domain that must be fought over. And the CCPs believe this is a domain where they can defeat the West. They will show off, they must show off. In reality, the moment the CCP rolled this out, there was already a declaration of war on the entire world. After the Russia-Ukrainian war, they believe they have an advantage. They believe this is a moment we can start a war. But when these balloons entered the United States, they moved as if there was no one there. According to CCP military insiders, this single event massively boosted the morale of the People's Liberation Army, also called the C Family Army, also called the CCP Bonded Army. Everyone inside believes the same thing: America, imperialism can't take a hit. They believe that sending thousands or tens of thousands would be enough to destroy all U.S. military bases. And what you have seen so far is on the lowest level. They have more than 200 higher levels that have not yet been revealed yet. How do you feel deal with that? This is asymmetric warfare. It joins your economy, it joins your military power, and it has no rules. That is what makes it terrifying. As a result, global economic uncertainty will only increase. What does uncertainty mean? It means the CCP can start this war at any moment. The military bases the CCP has deployed around the United States, Middle East, Africa, Asia, Eastern Europe can be activated at any time. We have been shouting about overseas CCP military bases for 5, 6, 7, or 8 years. Who listened? If you don't listen, you will pay the price, and you are paying price for the CCP, and you work toward the crematorium. If you don't believe the whistleblower movement, if you suffer massive disaster, don't believe it, then try it. Years ago, when Miles talked about this with this CCB meter figures, and people said that when we fight Taiwan, we will send 1 million balloons. Balloons carrying weapons above and below. And they said, go ahead, shoot them down. When you shoot them down, the weapons fall. That is dog chain egg effect. Chemical weapons, water contamination, cluster munitions. And when they say you shut them down, what does that have to do with us? As you can even frame it as humanitarian balloons claiming people were responding to calls rescue Taiwan, only to be shut down and cause toxic fallout. Who can explain that clearly afterward? These balloons can see at nearly 40 million meters altitude. And yet they dare say they drifted freely into the United States, drifting inland so neat they look cleaner, a knife cut. They dare lie to America, they dare lie to the entire world. I told the Japanese directly, when the war starts, you don't need to hide. What happens with 200 mil balloons? Oh, sorry. Excuse me. I started talking French. It's 200,000 balloons carrying explosives, biological weapons, and chemical weapons are sent to Japan. Miles personally saw the simulations on their big screens. Taiwan, Japan, Okinawa, first wave, 20,000, then 30,000, and then 100,000, then 1 million, then 3 million. 1.9 balloons descending from the sky. What do? You shoot them. 1, you don't have enough weapons. 2, after you shoot them, the chain reaction drops everything onto your own land, and it's very cheap. Years ago, when CCB quietly built massive rubber factories, nobody knew why. Melting these failed weapons, nobody believed it. Many advanced factories involved, including balloon processing factories, were actually Taiwanese owned. Traders selling out Taiwan. Taiwan are even more terrifying than CCB itself. Now CCB doesn't even need to send people. They stay in the sky. They can send 1 million, 10 million. You shoot, you die. You don't shoot, you die. On the balloons, first electronic jumping, second biological and chemical payloads, third real balloon mixed with fake ones. How many missiles do you have? They spend 3,000, 5,000, $10,000 to force you to fire. $400,000 or 1 million missiles. And tomahawks, cobras, fire. And they don't even need to launch from CCB, China, Cuba, Venezuela, the Bahamas, then even places in Canada. Can you solve this? America's strongest logistic system, electronic warfare system, communication systems, fighters aircraft system, all reduced to zero. This is not just unrestricted warfare. This is not just asymmetric warfare. This changes the rules of war itself. This balanced strategy tells the United States one thing clearly. I'm formally declaring war on you. You can't destroy me. I can destroy you. I can hit your home, and you can't hit mine. Everything you see in diplomacy after this is meaningless. Part 4. This is about our final part of this show today. 1,000 years of peace. We have never forgotten, and just as we declared massacre with Stephen Bannon, the destruction of the Chinese community is a requirement of justice. It is necessity of justice. It is the only choice 1.4 billion Chinese people, and it is the only choice of humanity if we want a future and a real security. No matter how dark the world becomes, no matter how dangerous the times are, we have always believed. We believe that heaven, all Buddhas, all gods, and all higher powers give us a mission and brought us here. One mission is not to live like ordinary people, just to eat, drink, sleep, wait to die, be burned to ashes, and then allow our children and grandchildren to become slaves of the Communist Party forever. No, we do not accept this. We will never allow this. We never allow the Communist Party to continue treating our elderly and our children the way it does today. We can't share the beautiful moments of life together. Our families are tens of thousands of kilometers away. They can't even call us freely. They can't go online to watch us speak the truth today, to help people to reveal the truth, to try to save the world. This strategy must not continue. The era of families being torn apart, children separated from parents, all prosperity stripped away, people being harvested like crops, treated like sheep in the pens, that era must be end forever. We are responsible not only to the elderly, not only to the children, not only to our descendants, we are responsible to all humanity. This is why the new Federal Civil China was declared. Our declaration is to build a relationship of 1,000 years of peace between China and Western world, between China and the civilized world. We must make one thing absolutely clear. Communist Party does not represent Chinese people. A society based on the rule of law, freedom of belief, freedom and democracy, independent justice will arrive. The Chinese people must be completely separated from the Chinese Communist Party. The Communist Party is not China. No one can stop it. This is a will of heaven. In human history, nothing like this has ever happened before. Nothing like the new Federal Civil China and the Whisper Movement. They have brought humanity unlimited hope, unlimited strength. We came into this world with real capability, real momentum, and unwavering faith. We believe in heaven. We believe in justice. We worship freedom. And with that belief, we launched this vast, powerful journey and the visible movement and the founding path of the new Federal Civil China. Miles and our brother sisters from the visible movement have only one goal: to bring down the Chinese Communist Party. And we have only one faith: that heaven stands with us. That's where all Buddhas and all gods protect us. That justice will ultimately defeat evil, no matter how vicious the communist party is, no matter how cruel it appears. This is the final struggle. Hong Kong, Xinjiang, Tibet, Taiwan. These are all our people. We will not abandon a single one. We will protect them forever. No matter overseas, like Falun Gong practitioners, no matter all of those persecuted overseas, no matter any Chinese person harmed by the Chinese Communist Party, we will unite together. We will hold them accountable. We will succeed. And the vision of the new federative China, and the new federative China shall be built by referring Western democratic constitutional systems and international law under joint supervision by international institutions and the Himalaya Supervision Organization. A new constitution shall be formulated. A system of separation of power shall be established. A new government shall be elected by one person, one vote. Elections and impeachment mechanisms shall coexist and function efficiently to prevent social chaos, disasters caused by rule by men. The new constitution shall include first, national spirit, human rights, rule of law, freedom of belief, freedom of speech, and second, inviolability of private property. Second, the pursuit of permanent peace and shared development with the peoples of the world. And third, education, elderly care, and health care are basic human needs and must be guaranteed by law. Education is the foundation of the nation. Increases investments. Use Western knowledge for Chinese application. Respect teachers. Provide education without discrimination. First, protect nature, animal ecology. Achieve harmony among all living beings. Fifth, immediately impeachment special autonomy status for Hong Kong, Macau, Tibet, and other regions, and strictly enforce for Taiwan, maintain the status quo, expand trade, development steadily, and prosper together. And six, confiscate and recover the stolen assets plundered by the CCP criminal group and return wealth to the people. Seventh, after establishment of new government, implement a general amnesty, except for serious criminal offenders and crime against humanity. The Himalaya Supervision Organization. The mission of the Himalaya Supervisory Organization is to work with the international community. To legally safeguard the safety, wealth, freedom, and dignity of Chinese people, to protect China's future, to promote 1,000 years of peace between the new federative China and the world. Himalaya represents true democracy, rule of law, and freedom. This organization is built on the foundation of the rule of law foundation and rule of law society. It is civilization organization with formal staff protected by international law. It will permanently serve as a third-party platform and bridge for China without the Communist Party to engage the world with transparency, legality, trust, and cooperation. It will develop legal, media, cultural, and financial ecosystems in cooperation with nations around the world. Explore the use of advanced internet technologies to improve democratic transparency and reduce political and economic operating costs and overseas public interest organizations. They will set strict legal constraints, including punitive mechanisms jointly agreed upon by the new Chinese government elected by the people and United States governments. If any member violates the rules, they will face the most severe penalties under the law of the United States and the new government. This organization and international supervision bodies, because June 4th, 1989 was the largest and the most influential democratic movement in modern Chinese history. Miles chose this solemn day to formally proclaim the declaration of new federal state of China to the world. This choice is historic. His meaning is profound. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Take down the CCP. Take down the CCP. Follow me and I'ma set us free. Take down the CCP.
We have never forgotten this. Just as we, Mr. Hao Haidong and Mr. Bannon declared a year ago, destroying the Chinese Communist Party is a need for justice, a necessity for justice, a must choice for the 1.4 billion Chinese people, and a necessary choice for the future and security of mankind. No matter how dark and dangerous the world is, we always believe that the Buddhas and gods in heaven have given us a mission to come to this point. The mission of each of us is not like that of ordinary people, that they just come to the world to eat, drink, sleep, wait to die, and be burned, and then turn their children and grandchildren into the CCP's slaves. No, we won't agree. We will never allow the Chinese Communist Party to let our elders and children live like today again. We are in New York and only a few kilometers from our fellow fighters, but we can't meet or hug each other. I can't spend our good time with you. Our families who are thousands of miles away cannot call us, nor can they go online to see us tell the truth, help people, and save the world today. This tragedy cannot continue. The era of being separated from our families, having all our properties stripped away, being cut off, and being used like sheep is gone forever. We are not only responsible for the elders, children, and our descendants, but we must be responsible for all mankind. This is the declaration of new federal state of China to create a 1,000-year peaceful relationship with the Western world, the civilized world, and to completely separate the Chinese from the CCP. The Chinese Communist Party is not equal to the Chinese, and they cannot represent the Chinese. A society with independent legal system, freedom of belief and democracy, and freedom will surely come, and no one can stop it. This is God's will. This has never happened in human history a year ago, or even to this day. Like the new federal state of China and the whistleblower movement, it has brought infinite hope and power to mankind. With strength, motivation, firm belief in God, and our worship of freedom, we present to the world. We start the milestone of our whistleblower movement and the new federal state of China. I reiterate here again that I, Miles Guo, and fellow fighters of the whistleblower movement have only one goal, to take down the CCP. We have only one belief. We believe in God and that we have thousands of Buddhas and gods to protect us. We only believe that justice will surely defeat evil. No matter how vicious the CCP is, the present is its last struggle. People of Hong Kong, Xinjiang, Tibet, and Taiwan are our compatriots. We will never give up on them. We will always protect them, whether it's Falun Gong abroad, all the victims of the CCP abroad, or any Chinese who have faced persecution from the CCP. We will unite together to settle scores with the CCP, and we will undoubtedly succeed.